So I get a lot of hate for this. And this is because I say that sometimes renting is better than buying. Now, 2 years ago, I put out a couple videos about why renting short-term in this environment is better than buying. And a lot of people got very upset by that. They said, that's stupid, that's dumb. You know, when you buy, you build equity. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're building negative equity in the short term versus renting and putting that money away because you're paying the interest up front. And you're putting, I'm getting $300 in equity every time I pay $3,500 a month. Bro, you're paying $3,500 a month plus another $2,000 a month. You're paying $5,500 a month to build $300 in equity right now. You could rent for $3,000 a month, $3,500 a month, and be making $2,000 in equity a month. It's not equity because you don't own anything. Yeah, in 2 years, when you take all that extra money and dump it as a down payment, you get all that equity and you save on PMI and all that shit. And 2 years ago, people thought it was stupid, and 2 years later, people that didn't do that are fucking sitting and being like, fuck, I should have done this. Well, I could just refinance. Yeah, but you lose all the interest you pay, you do closing costs, and then you have to start over again. They don't tell you this stuff because everybody who tells you about what to buy a house is making money off of you. Well, that wasn't what I got hit with. The biggest thing, besides people not understanding how equity works in the short term, is non-returnable capital. I talk about non-returnable capital. And now this is not something why you should not buy or do buy. It's something they don't tell you about that you need to be prepared for. It's like you buy the house and then you're all of a sudden wondering why, if I did my mortgage and my mortgage is $3,500 a month, why am I paying $5,500 a month? I don't understand. Why is my monthly payment $5,500 a month and yet I'm only getting $300 in equity? Where is the other $5,200 going? It's gone. It's gone. You don't get that back, ever. It's gone. The interest to the bank is gone, okay? The taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, that's gone. Sure, you can make a case that, well, by keeping the house maintained, it allows the equity of the home to go up in value. And so, okay, sure, but that's down the road. I'm talking about on a yearly basis, okay? It's gone. It costs money to own a home. That doesn't mean you shouldn't own a home. You just need to understand that it is when you're budgeting out how much home can you afford, you need to take this into consideration. People don't. You may do it because you understand finance and you're an adult, whatever like that. But younger people don't do this. I'm not trying to scare anyone away from buying a house. I just want people to be informed because I don't want you to go in and get a mortgage. Because here's the thing. This is a true story. People just take everything I say as some kind of hater shit, and it's not. It's frustrating because the way that everybody's at, but you gotta open up your mind. You gotta stop fighting things that are just facts. Well, I was told. You have to say, when I want to afford a home, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do this. And I make, let's say my family and I combined, we make $200,000 a year. Let's say it's gross, right? Or let's say it's net, okay? Let's say it's net, okay? For, whatever. When you're calculating how much home you can afford, you're thinking, based on all these other budget things I have, if I can afford 30% of my income as my home. So let's say you do 30% of your income as a home, right? So you go $6,000 a month. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand the escrow on top of that. But even if you add all that in, and let's say you're smart and you understand that you got to put escrow and mortgage and interest, everything as well in $6,000, there's still additional costs. Okay, there's still additional costs. And this is what I want to bring up that people don't price in. I want people to understand that because they're gonna price themselves at a lower price, not understanding additional costs until they own their home. Then all of a sudden they're house poor because the additional costs on top of that they didn't budget for. And then one person loses their job or gets their hours cut, you're underwater. And the reason I bring this up, is that we have a new report that came out. And it is that what they're calling hidden home ownership costs. We'll go with costs. What? So the hidden homeowner costs in America are now averaging about $16,000 a year. $16,000 a year. Now, hidden costs, the headline's a little bit misleading because property taxes, insurance aren't really hidden. It's just not something explained to you when you're doing when you're getting your loan and everything, right? Like they don't want to talk about things that you're gonna, hey, what about that? What about that, right? But when you talk to most Americans, they only focus on the mortgage, right? This is the amount of the house. This is the amount of years. This is how much it's gonna cost me every month for those 30 years. That's all they focus on. right? Never. I taught you guys about negotiating to be able to pay down early without penalty, which is a huge one there. There's other things like that. But here's the thing. We talk about non-returnable capital, right? Non-returnable capital. This is capital that doesn't come back to you, right? And we're not even going to talk about interest, but we're talking about $16,000 a year on maintenance, property taxes, and insurance. And depending on where you live, this is getting even more crazy. In Florida, our insurance went up by 50%. And California is similar, and Louisiana, because the big insurance companies are pulling out and the competition goes away. Then there's smaller companies that have to take on the burden, less competition, less premiums, prices go up. Maintenance is one that people don't pay attention to. I get this a lot. This is the biggest hidden cost that people who buy a home don't understand. You don't understand how much it costs to maintain a home. Even when you are renting something, it feels like, it feels like it costs a lot because there's a few things you have to do, but you're not in charge of the big things. But you have to understand, it costs money to own a home. And the bigger the home, the more it costs. The more extreme weather, down in Florida with the heat, humidity, weather, storms, hails, thunderstorms, hurricanes. In the north, cold, snow, ice buildup, right? In the Midwest, tornadoes, wind, dry, whatever. In the desert Southwest, there's always that. So people don't understand this. And right now, the average maintenance costs for a house in America right now is $11,000 a year. You may not even realize it, but it costs that much. And so the average monthly right now, okay, in America, you're talking about $1,000 a month for maintenance. Typical insurance is about $200 a month. Property tax is about, that's not $1,000. It's about $800 a month. $200 a month, and about $300 a month for taxes. So that means the typical American household right now is having to tack on an additional $1,300 a month on top of their mortgage, which they are paying interest front loaded. This does not include HOA fees, PMI if you don't have 20% down. So $800 a month in maintenance. Now, $800 a month in maintenance does not mean necessarily repairs, okay? It's not you have to, get a new appliance and stuff like that. But maintenance, you're talking light bulbs. You're talking air conditioning filters. You're talking about mops, brooms, things to keep the maintenance and cleanliness of your home, right? I'm not talking about like just, a Swiffer here and there. But like, for example, okay, maybe mops and brooms I'm adding to it just because I'm trying to give like some kind of idea. Because the problem is that it's the large things that happen every quarter that kind of break that down. But maintenance of a home, doing your yard, landscaping, doing small painting, screws, okay, light fixtures, it comes up. And for a home, a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, these things add up. If you are a homeowner, you completely understand what I'm saying. Okay, some people are going to pay a lot more and some people are going to pay less. So if you're out here saying that's bullshit, Stocky, I don't pay that much every month, so therefore the empirical data from the entire country is wrong, fuck you. You're not that special. Neither am I. But depending on how big your home is, where you live, and what you have to deal with, this is what it breaks down to. Now, you're not going to shell out $800 exactly every month. Some months it might be $100. Some months it might be $2,000. You're going to have to repair a lot of things. It costs money to own a home. You don't have to be angry about this with me. You can just say, damn, I'm glad I know how to repair things myself and don't have to hire somebody. Or I was able to prevent it by doing something before I had to repair it. Cool. But this is the number. And people aren't prepared for this in a lot of times. I do all those things myself, so there's a difference. I don't pay people to maintain my yard. Then you're special, bro. So again, I want you to take this moment in the stream, and the next time you go out in the world, I want you to, before you say something, I want you to think, is what I do the same as everyone else out in the world? Does every single person, do 8 billion people on this planet do what I do? If the answer is no, and then you think to yourself, then they're wrong. I want you to get up wherever you're at. I want you to stop. I want you to get out of your car. I want you to, stop. If you're on a Ferris wheel, I want you to yell at them to stop. I want you to get a bullhorn, and I want you to tell everyone that they're fucking wrong, that they're wrong. And even if they're right, they're fucking wrong, because unless they do it how you do it, it can't be true or it can't be right. Sir, what you should do, drive up to somebody on a red light. Knock it. Excuse me, honk, honk, honk. Excuse me, roll on the window. Yeah. You change your own oil? Nah. Fuck you, bitch. You're wrong. And then I want you to speed off. I'm sorry, I'm blacking out right now. I'm just saying that guy was like telling me that data is wrong because he does it differently. It's like, wait a second. It's not about chill. I could care less about how others spend their money. It's just informative. Okay, but you disagreed with this because you said you pay less than $800 a month. Therefore, this is wrong. Then your $200 a month is being averaged in with somebody paying $1,200 a month. Okay, that's how we get these numbers. And so, as I was saying, these expenses have gone up. Now, it's also about the cost of living in the area you're in. Annual non-mortgage expenses in New York City are $24,000 a year for non-mortgage related expenses. San Francisco, $23,000 a year. Boston, almost $22,000 a year. That's $600,000. And I'm going to say, yeah, but what about the, okay, I'm not going to add the 3% this goes up in a year versus the 3% appreciation in your home. Just for aesthetic reasons. That's $660,000 you're going to add on to how much you pay for your home over that 30 years. And none of that comes back or goes towards equity, right? Because it's just, this isn't to tell you not to buy a home. It's just a lot of people out there. I want to prevent somebody from buying too much home and becoming home poor because I want you to understand these costs. So when you are going to budget out how much it's going to be to own a home, I want you to understand that this is something they don't tell you about, or they kind of willy-nilly say, oh yeah, well, you're going to have to do this, escrow this, but they don't tell you about these other things. And the next thing you know, you've got all these other costs and you can't afford anything. You got a house, but you can't afford anything else. And think about insurance. In Florida, it got crazy. Home insurance premiums are up 48% since 2020, about $2,000 a year. Now in Miami, it's insane. The average homeowner insurance in Miami is now $4,607 a year. 72% in rise in 5 years. Mine's up 50% from 2024 to 2025. Between the big ones pulling out and them designating us as a flood zone for no reason, 72% in 5 years. Why you got to do this when I closed my house for $1.5 million last week? I mean, obviously you seem like you're smart enough to know these costs, but let me tell you something right now. If you don't know how to get your costs down, I want you to reach out to Robert. He's going to do some scared straight shit with you. Why would you buy a house in a sinking state? Haven't they said it's sinking for like the last 25 years? Insurance costs are up 79% in New Orleans, which is about the same odds as the Saints missing the playoffs again. Sacramento's up 59%. Atlanta's up 56%. So it's not that I'm trying to give you the doom and gloom and, oh my God, you're never going to be able to afford a house. And even if you do afford a house, it's going to be even worse. And wait until you get the 50-year mortgage and your PMI is like 5% instead of 2% and you're fucked and it's just going to offset it and then you're going to be a debt slave forever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that everyone who wants you to buy a home is making money off of you. So they're not going to tell you this stuff because they want to make money off of you. The more expensive the house or the more expensive the loan or the longer the term the loan, the more money everybody makes off of you.